Hi, welcome to Slick Willy Fly, and today what we're going to do is a Renegade fly. So, my wife is about to go to Denver and visit our daughter and some friends, and I'm going to send to a friend of mine who now lives in Denver. We were friends in Florida and he's moved to Denver, and I did a little bit of homework, I did a little bit of research, and discovered that for September, October, a good fly to have in his area is a Renegade fly, which I have in the vise. Blue wing olive, buyout blue wing olive is another good fly to have. So I've tied a few of those, and I'm gonna send them a few muddlers and just a little variations. But yeah, let's go ahead and tie a Renegade. So quick, what are the materials? Well, I'm gonna tie this in a size 16 so that it's not too small for the video. The reason I like this Kamassan B400 is because it's a very straight shank, a little bit longer shank hook that gives me some fly tying space. Not sure if you could see that, but I have a very, I have a good tying platform there. So I really like this hook for this fly. Additionally, I'm going to use one Peacock Hearl. And then for my hackles, I have these little mini packs, and I think they're great. I do dry fly fish occasionally. I'm not the biggest dry fly guy. If you watch my channel, you know that my true passion is with inshore saltwater fishing. There's no denying it. I love fishing in Sweden. I do fish for rainbows and browns and stuff, but when I fish, a lot of my fishing tends to be more streamer fishing. I love fishing streamers, like this little muddler. Catch a lot of trout on streamers in Sweden. I do fish nymphs and dries when I know that the nymphs and the dries are what's getting bites. But yeah, let's change the camera angle and let's tie up a muddler with a rum and coke. All right, so I've been trying to balance which is the best camera angle versus keeping the picture in focus, and it's just been it's a work in progress, but hopefully this will work good for today's video. This is on the small side, so I know it's not like when I'm tying a saltwater fly. So like I said, it's a size 16 Kamassan hook in size B400, and the model is the B400 in size 16. For thread, I'm using a brown thread. This is a 16-aught Vivus. Hopefully I won't break the thread. It's a very thin thread. When I tie a Renegade, I do this a little bit different than a lot of people. I like to tie in my brown hackle first. Oh, I'm using two colors hackle. I'm using brown, and then I'm using this Grizzly. One brown and one Grizzly. I like to tie in my brown first. And then once I have my hackle secured, then I like to put in my Peacock Hearl. And don't think a lot of people do it this way, but I think it works better for me. So now I'm attaching my Peacock Hearl. So now I'm just going to wrap the Peacock Hearl up towards the front of the hook. capture the peacock, and I can trim this off. You can probably just break it off, but I trim it. And I save this piece. This piece will do 3 more flies if I wanted to. So now I just, with nice open wraps, I bring back my thread to about the 1/3 point from the back, because basically I divide this shank into thirds, and this back hackle is only going to wrap on the back third. I'm trying to find a little hackle plier, which I don't normally use, but I'm using it for this fly. And I'm probably going to use my rotary function. Remember, when you do any kind of a hackle, any kind of a body, you always go in the same direction as the thread. It's the same thing I did with the peacock. I went in the exact same direction as the thread. Maybe I'm not going to be able to use my rotary function. This hackle is very, very small. It's one of the reasons I really like tying saltwater flies. They're a little bigger, a little bulkier, a little bit more forgiving. I'm just going to wrap this hackle on the back half of this fly as carefully as I can. And once I have 4 or 5 turns like I do there, now I'm just going to capture this hackle and trim this excess. And one of these days I'm going to have to invest in a better hackle plier. So now I'm going to go ahead and attach this front side hackle, and I don't really want it to be overly long or overly long fibers. It's a great little pack. These little packs that I showed you here, these are great for a variety of different things. It's obviously great for a hackle, but I also use them when I tie saltwater flies. This is a video that's coming, and that's the same hackle that I'm using now for this little freshwater fly. So I'm going to go ahead and tie this in the front third. Out of the way, the thread. Trim off the tag, just like that. Gonna try again with the hackle plier. In the front. And that came out a lot better actually. Trap that feather. I can trim this off carefully. And now I like to use, for this particular fly, instead of putting in the traditional whip finish that I normally use, because I don't want to trap all these fibers, I'm going to go ahead and put a half hitch. And I'm actually going to use a half hitch tool. I have this tiny little half hitch tool, which I think for this fly works like a charm. And I'm going to put in 3 or 4 half hitches, just to make sure that this guy is nice and secured. Just like that. Break off the thread, nice and easy. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of fly finish head cement. And I'm going to make sure that this knot does not come undone. And there it is. One size 16 Renegade. Not exactly sure what this looks like. It almost looks like 2 midges or something. I don't know. But yeah, the everyone I spoke to said this is a great September, October fly for the rivers in that area where they live in Denver. And yeah, I mean, I trust local knowledge. All right, so welcome back. So there it is, size 16, little Renegade fly. And I'm gonna go ahead and tie up, I don't know, a half a dozen or so more and some blue wing olives for them, and send these to Denver. They'll be going to Denver on Friday. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Don't forget to look for me on Instagram, Slick Willy Fly, enjoying a nice cocktail, and see you on the next video.